Hey friends, welcome to this week's studio chat. I wanted to share with you the painting that we had talked about last week, the deer painting. I finished it, and so we can look that over. And then also I have a new painting underway in this woodland series that I will kind of show you the beginning phases of. So I'll pull the easel over and we will take a look. Okay, so here is the finished fawn painting. I am so happy with how this painting turned out. I know I talked last week about how it was pretty muted colors, and so I really worked on adding punches of more intense color, but keeping it very consistent in the color scheme. Usually, when I make paintings, I want every color to be in the painting. And so I actually worked really hard to try to make it a more limited color palette. Like I said, I don't work in limited color palettes normally, but I felt like it was right for this one because there was only one type of flower. So I tried to tie the colors that were in the flowers and in the foliage to the colors that were in the deer. And I'm just really happy with sort of the warm tones and how the purple is playing off of these chartreuse colors. I also mentioned last week in the fox painting that I went through a journey of like balancing how much complexity, how much clear brush strokes, and how clean I wanted things to look. And that painting, the fox one, turned out to be a very clean and crisp painting for the most part. And I feel like I was able to keep this one a little bit looser. I feel like it's a challenge for me to keep it looser because I naturally want to paint in a very crisp, clear way. That's just sort of, I don't know, the way that I'm drawn to painting naturally, but the aesthetic I enjoy more is loose painting. And so there's always sort of this war within me trying to figure that out. And so I am really happy with how I was able to leave a lot of these textural areas and the roses painted pretty loosely. And actually a lot of the areas of the deer, I just kind of painted in a hazy, brushy sort of way, and then really just brought out the texture of the fur in a few little areas, and then the face where I painted with more clarity and more realism, I suppose. But yeah, so you can see like the texture of the canvas, which I paint with gesso beforehand to give it this streaky sort of texture. You can see that showing through in this texture, and that's also like what's giving the fur sort of a directional feel, which was like a total happy accident. I didn't intend for it to turn out that way, like be translated as fur, but it actually worked out well in some of these areas. Yeah, so I finished this painting and then I began a new one. So I will pull that over and show you what that one looks like. So this one is of a squirrel, and it's obviously in the very beginning stages, just like the deer was last week. I hope it's fun for you to be able to see the beginning point and then the end point next week, because all paintings begin very basic, non-complex for me. They're very like just putting in areas of color, and then I kind of build up more layers, more textures, more depth as time goes by. I know especially if you're a beginning painter, it can be frustrating to have that first layer or two not look anything like how you want the finished painting to look. But I hope this is encouraging to you because this is very basic and very flat looking to me, but I know from so much experience of making paintings that's not where it will remain. It will become more complex, and that's fine. I'm comfortable with the different stages that I go through in my painting process because I've gone through it so many times. I'm not discouraged when things look like super basic in the beginning anymore. Yeah, so I just sketched this out with a Neocolor wax pastel and then have just started filling it out. So my plan for this series, I was just sitting down with my calendar this week to figure out what does the whole fall and winter holiday season look like for me in my art, because Christmas is definitely the busiest time of the year, and I want to be prepared for it. And so I'm trying to negotiate, like, how do I draw this series to a close and start up, products for the holidays. So my plan is I'm gonna finish this squirrel painting, and I'm gonna do 2 more. I'm actually gonna bring a bird painting forward. So I guess I'll share it with you, because I wasn't planning on sharing it, but I will pull it out and I will let you see. So I'll put it up here and then you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a bird painting that I began several months ago. I can't even remember when. And it has gone through layer after layer after layer, and I just didn't get it to a place that I was really happy with. I'm not super happy with the background colors paired with the bird colors. And at that point, I didn't know whether I wanted the birds to be crisp and clear and lifelike, or if I wanted them to be imaginary. And I was just worrying, like, I don't have this happen that often where I just have no idea where this is going and I just go and go and go and can't find a resolution. But this painting, the background color has been through so many layers, and all of these leaves have gone through like 5 different colors, and the birds have been 3 different colors. And I really love the composition of the birds, so I didn't want to just get rid of it because I love their poses. And so what I'm planning is I am going to, with this woodland series in mind, I'm going to update this painting. I'm going to rework it so it feels in line with the color palette that I'm discovering through these paintings, and more jewel tones. And I feel like having a vision for where this woodland series is going is going to help me just fearlessly work on this and get rid of things that aren't working and tweak things again. So I'm excited to see where this one ends up. Hopefully there will be some progress on it by next week's studio chat. So yeah, after this painting, then I'm planning on doing 1 more, and then I'll have basically 5 paintings in this series, which is a little bit on the small side for me, but I feel like 4 to 5 is a nice round number that you can, a rounded out number that has a theme that I can present to my collectors and say, like, look at this series of work, and they all have something to do with each other. I feel like 2 or 3 is a little bit on the small side, but I feel pretty strong about 5 paintings. And yeah, so that will be coming in the future, and I'll let you know about that and what I'm kind of working on to get ready for that, hopefully next week. So, all right. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we will chat next week. Bye for now.